tell me your name and about your company.
Yeah, sure. My name's Kay Mita. I am the Director of Communications and Marketing for Bridger Aerospace. We are an aerial firefighting company.
And tell me about the kind of pilots you're hiring.
So generally we hire somewhat experienced pilots already. So we are looking for about 1,500 hours of flight time. Multi-engine rating is critical, and also, of course, we want to make sure you're IFR rated as well.
So is there a minimum time, 1,500 hours, and what about minimum twin time? Do you have any twin time?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that one.
Okay,
I'll have to get you back to that one.
What would it take to get hired then? What's the process like?
So the process is, ideally we want you to have a little bit of experience coming into it, just because firefighting is a little bit different from regular commercial flying. So unfortunately, because of the dynamic flying that you need to do, and also to be able to coordinate with all the firefighting assets, really want you to be comfortable behind the stick or the yoke, so you're not thinking about flying. Really, you're going to be dodging, banking, diving through smoke, through soot. So it's a very intense environment. And also, on top of that, you're going to be working with what's called an ATGS, and that's an Air Tactical Group Supervisor. So what your role would be as an air attack pilot is flying around, coordinating all the grounds people, all the other assets in the air, tankers, VLATs, LATs, helicopters, and then, of course, all the grounds people to making sure that when the drops are happening, the area is clear and no firefighters are getting harmed. So ultimately, as an air attack pilot, you are serving the U.S. Forest Services and the ATGS that's flying with you.
And what about the drop pilots then?
So Super Scooper. So we have what's called the CL-415 EAF. It's the only aircraft that was ever designed to fight fires. So it's a very unique aircraft. Generally what you need for requirement there is you're going to need your float time. You're going to need 2,400 of hours of seat time as a PIC. And what's nice about our program is that if you're in the air attack program and you make it there, we will actually train you up to be if you want to go into the Scooper program. So we actually have acquired a Twin Otter last year, which is actually a very similar flying airplane with the CL-415 EAF. So come January, we'll get you on spring training in Mesa, Arizona, like this baseball teams, and you'll get to fly for about 2 weeks every day for a number of hours to get your hours and your training up.
Is there an upper age limit?
There is not. In fact, our Scooper program being so new, we were having some difficulty finding pilots. So what's awesome about our program is that we're the only company in the United States that actually has own Super Scoopers. Generally, they're really well known in Canada and Europe, but not so much here. So we actually wanted to bring in a really experienced captain called Al Heimers, who's flown in Canada for years as a Super Scooper captain. And he had actually retired, I guess at 62-ish. And then we begged and pleaded to have him come back to show us the way and bring up our new younger pilots, the cadets, into the right seat and get them trained properly. And so he's 64 now and still fighting strong. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, he did 80 drops in a duty cycle. So a duty cycle is 8 hours. And so during that time, he made 80 drops. And that's basically, if you do the math, it's 1,400 gallons times 80 drops. So being Asian, I don't know math, so it's okay. It's a lot of numbers.
The duty times and a pay scale.
Yeah, so generally, we are unique in that we offer a salary position. So generally most aerial firefighting companies, you get paid when you fly, when you sit, you don't get paid. We don't believe in that. Our philosophy, or at least my boss's philosophy and the founder, Tim Sheehy, he really values safety above anything else. So his idea was that he wanted to make sure you're not pressured to fly because you feel like you need to earn money. If it's a dangerous situation, if the situation really merits you laying low and staying on the ground, then because you're getting paid no matter what, you won't feel pressure to do that. So with that said, it's 12 on, 12 off during the fire season. Now fire season will run anywhere from about April through October, but of course it all depends on Mother Nature. So unfortunately we can't say October 1 I got vacation, so fires end. So we gotta, so you gotta be a little bit flexible about that. So during the fire season, even though you are 12 off, that doesn't mean you can kind of go off and moonlight and other jobs. We want you to go fishing, go, kayaking, do whatever it is that you find relaxing, and just tune out. So when you tune back in on your 12, on your duty cycle, you can go fresh.
Talk about pay scale.
Pay scale. So generally, if we're looking at $70,000-ish to start, that's base. So when you go out to fly as an air attack pilot, which is pretty much a guaranteed, you're flying every day, you'll get your time on your pay on top of that. So it's pretty generous. And then when you're off season, if you actually do have other interests and other commercial opportunities to earn money, you can go do that while you're still earning money with us. The only thing that we require is that you come back monthly for your currency time and just keep up with your training. But on that, your time during the winter time is yours to do what you please. So we also offer pretty generous benefit packages. We have full insurance benefits, dental, full health. We have a 401k policy, and we have 2 weeks vacation, paid time off. But also the boss, being who he is, he's a family guy. He's got 4 kids, so it's big on the holidays. So you get an additional 2 weeks off there as well.
And then what kind of pilot would set themselves apart in the application process?
Yeah, definitely. So ideally, when you come out of school, if you can spend a little bit of time in the bush, head up to Alaska. If you get a little bit of float time, that will really set yourself apart, only because the flying characteristics are so similar to bush piloting. Our job is not take off, auto cruise, and land. There's very little autopiloting when you're up in the air. It's all VFR, it's all aggressive flying. You're circling over assets, you are constantly dodging other tankers and what have you to make sure that you're clear. So I'm not a pilot, but I got to sit in one during a fire thing, and it's exhausting, it's dizzying, it may be nauseous, so it's not for me, but I hope it is for you. I think if you want a dynamic flying experience and you don't want to just phone it in and go on cruise control, this is definitely the job you want to check out.
Where's home base?
What's that?
Where's home base?
Oh yeah, so home base for us is Bozeman, Montana. But as a pilot, what's really cool about our opportunity is that we're flexible about where you live. The only thing we require you to do is to be ready to go and be able to grab a commercial flight that's on our dime, and you'll go directly to the fire flight. You'll go directly to the base where your airplane will be waiting for you. Yeah.
And then how would they apply for this job? Is it
Yep.
on the website?
Sure, yeah. So if you go to bridgeraerospace.com /careers, or if you go to the website homepage, on the upper right-hand corner, there'll be a tab that says careers. Generally around August is the end of fire season, as I mentioned, August, September. So we'll assess the current roster of pilots, see where they are going to be for next season. If they're going to stay on board, great. If not, that's okay. Although our attrition rate's pretty low, so because of the company ethos, everyone loves what we do, and the mission's awesome. So we will start posting jobs at that point for the next season. And as I mentioned, if you get the job, we start training right around January. So for air attack, it's a little less intense than the scoopers, so it'll be about 2 to 3 weeks of time that we'll have you on board training, and then after that, actually until fire season, the time is yours. Again, just make sure that you come back to HQ when required to keep up with the currency. So you have a lot of flexibility within the company and a lot of opportunity to make good money.